everybody. It's Joy and Scott from Anderson Injury Law Firm. And today we're kind of starting a new series about, is my case likely to go to court? I think for so many of us, going to court is a scary thing. So we're going to kind of walk through the steps of what it looks like and how to be prepared for it. But we're going to start with the question of, how likely is my case to go to court?
So that's a good question. I can say there are very few cases that actually end up in a courtroom across the board for all personal injury cases. It doesn't matter what law firm, whether someone's handling a case on their own. It's a very small percentage actually end up in a courtroom. That being said, we are a trial law firm. We will take cases to court if they need to go to court. And when you ask, well, how do I know if my case should go to court? It's usually based on how the insurance company reacts. So when a demand package is sent to an insurance company, basically saying, here's my case and why I think I'm entitled to monies, if they respond with an offer that is very low, your case needs to go to court. How low is enough to go to court varies from case to case. It depends on what are the amount of damages, what are the risks involved, are there questions on liability, questions on causation, things like that. But I can tell you with my law firm here, we take cases to court. We will try cases where the insurance company has made a low offer. There are certainly a large number of law firms that don't take cases to court. The difficulty there is insurance companies track everyone, including attorneys, and they know which law firms will take a case to trial and which law firms will not. And so what ends up happening is when a law firm does not try cases or is not willing to go to court, the insurance companies know that, and they'll make lower offers for those lawyers. And that's why you want a law firm that is willing to go to trial, even though not many cases actually need to go to court. That being said, we do have to file lawsuits frequently. It's something about 35% of our cases need a lawsuit to get the insurance company to a fair offer. But most of those cases, after discovery has happened, where each side gets to learn about the other side's case in the process of litigation, often the case gets resolved without ending up in a courtroom. But yes, there are cases that end up in a courtroom, and we end up having to get a jury verdict on those cases. And that is ultimately the remedy to an insurance company's low offer, is to go get a jury verdict. And how do you know whether you're going to be that case? Well, if the insurance company offers you a low amount, that's how you know. The cases that are lopsided, where someone's absolutely going to win, look how great this case is, or they're absolutely going to lose, this is an awful case, those ones don't normally end up in a courtroom, because it's very clear cut as to who's going to win and who's going to lose. Usually the cases that end up in a courtroom are the ones where there are good and bad things on both sides. There's positives on liability, but maybe a causation fight or something like that, where there's good and bad on both sides. Those are usually the ones that end up in front of a jury, because there's questions on both sides of the aisle.
I didn't even think about insurance agencies tracking what lawyers go to court and which ones don't. I mean, that's so smart. So my follow-up question to that would be, how would a consumer or a person that got in an accident know to pick a law firm that goes to court?
How do they know to pick a law firm? They're watching this video. Hopefully that's something that makes it so they ask questions the next time they need to hire a lawyer. And it is something where the willingness to go try a case is usually what carries the day. There are law firms that always try everything. You don't want that either, because then they're trying cases that should have settled. But you want a law firm that is willing to try a case when it needs to be tried. And so asking questions as to how frequently a lawyer is willing to go to court. Have they gone to court? I mean, there are lawyers who have never stepped foot in a courtroom before. And so knowing those types of things is helpful when picking whether the person wants to hire a law firm or not.
That is so smart. I think that is one of the best tips you've ever given, because if you hadn't said that, I would have never thought. And insurance companies are tracking. And if you go for a lawyer that doesn't go to court, you're going to get a low ball offer. Best tip.
Yeah, insurance companies track everything that they can possibly track. They track doctors. So it's the same thing if you're treating with a doctor who has been known to fail on the stand and testifies poorly. The insurance companies are tracking that, just like they know if you are with a doctor who testifies well. They track that.
Unbelievable. Great insight today. Okay, so next week, or next time we get together, we're going to talk about how does the client prepare to go to court? Because I think that's the scary part of it. Like, you want to be compensated justly, but does that mean you have to go to court? And I think if we take some of the scariness out of it, people will be more comfortable moving down that road. So we'll cover that next time. Great insight today. Thanks so much. Follow Anderson YouTube channel, because Scott gives great insight. We've done several videos on the frequently asked questions. Follow Anderson Injury Law on Facebook, because valuable content is given there as well. And if they want to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
The phone number to reach me, 719-473-3040. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. People can also go to my website, injuryevaluation.com.
Awesome. All right. We'll see you next time.
All right. We'll see you next time.